Hi, this is Robbie from GreatViolinCases.com, and in today's video I'm going to be comparing a carbon fiberglass violin case that I bought on Amazon for about $159, and I'm comparing it to the Gewa Pure Violin Case, which sells for $251 at GreatViolinCases.com. And so in this video, we want to answer the question, is it worth it? Is it worth paying $100 more for this case, even though both actually look very, very similar? And so to answer that, we're going to be comparing a lot of the features of these two cases in this video. So let's just start with the outside. The Gewa Pure Violin Case is made of polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is a type of plastic. It's actually one of the strongest plastics in the world. It's also used to make shatterproof glass. Another good thing about plastic is that it's a lot more temperature resistant compared to, say, like metallic cases. Now this case, it's carbon fiberglass violin case, which I actually haven't heard of yet. With a lot of reputable brands we work with, it's either a carbon fiber violin case or a fiberglass violin case. Not exactly sure. It's possible that it's kind of just combining these two materials, but more likely it just has those two words in the title, so that this case is easier to find on Amazon. So if someone searches on Amazon for carbon fiber violin case or fiberglass violin case, there's a higher chance for this case to actually show near the top. Again, don't take my word for it, but it's just working with reputable brands. I've actually never seen a carbon fiberglass combined violin case. So let's just assume it is a carbon case, but what that means is that like I said, it is a metallic material, so this case is not going to be as temperature resistant as the Pure case. Both cases feature two latches. The Pure case has very, very simple latches, which I like. This one actually has key latches, but a big problem is that this latch is actually razor sharp. It actually hurts when you kind of flip it open, just because the bottom here is very, very sharp. Next, both cases feature sheet music pouches on the back sides. Both are padded, both are very similar. Now with the Pure case, it's actually a little bit trickier to attach or remove this sheet music pouch. It's not just a button you button in. It's basically a button you kind of push in and then you slide it down into place. So you kind of put it in, slide it in, and then it stays. I was kind of curious why Gewa did it this way until I tried, this case. Now I know why. Because when I tried to remove the sheet music pouch on this case, it's just a very standard button. I actually almost ripped the cloth off of the button. So even though it says it's removable, I'm not really going to try and remove it because I know, I'm just going to rip the sheet music pouch off the button itself. Now let's take a look at the D-ring placements. So on the Pure case, we've got two D-rings on the side here, so you can attach one strap to use it as a shoulder strap. And what I like is there are 4 D-rings on the back of the case, so you can attach 2 backpack straps. Now with 4 D-rings, it's going to be a little bit more spacious on your shoulders. It's going to feel more natural to carry like a normal backpack. With this case, we also have the 2 D-rings at the top, so you can attach the shoulder strap. However, on the back, we only have 1 D-ring. So when you attach the backpack straps, it actually forms a V shape. I'm not the biggest fan of that, because what that means is you have, your D-rings, other rings all kind of converging on the back of your neck here, which is not that comfortable to carry. And it's just going to feel very tight on your shoulders because, it's forming this V shape. So I definitely like the D-ring placements of the Gewa Pure case. Both cases feature handles at the top. Gewa has this, what they call kind of an ergonomic handle. I guess it's just kind of more comfortable to carry for a longer period of time. However, I do like the kind of rubber bottom here of this case. It just feels a little bit more comfortable to carry. Now the Gewa Pure case does feature a subway handle at the top so that you can hold the case vertically, and there are rubber stops at the bottom so that you can place it on the ground. With this case, you only have the one handle. There handles on the sides. Now let's take a look at the shoulder straps or the backpack straps. So with the Carbon Case, it just comes with a very simple strap. It's not padded or anything, and this hardware feels very light, which means it's probably using a pretty cheap type of plastic, and that worries me because that'll break or come loose over time. Now with the Gewa Pure Case, these straps are padded, so you've got this section here that's very nicely padded. It's going to feel nicer on the shoulders. It's not going to dig into your shoulders, and the quality of the hardware just feels nicer. It feels a little tougher than the hardware on this case. This actually is metal. It's not plastic. Now let's take a look at the interior of the cases, beginning with the bow holders. So with the Gewa Pure Case, they actually feature Gewa's patented bow holders. Not 100% sure of the technology behind it, but it's basically designed to be a lot more durable. So as you spin it, it's not really going to come loose over time, which is obviously really important. Now with this case, it is a little concerning because as I pull the bow holder, you can actually see the top portion coming loose already. Even though it is also a snap-in. And another problem is as I pull on this, you can actually hear the glue coming loose behind this padding. You can actually hear kind of a ripping sound. Same with the portion up here that holds the tip of the bow. As I pull on it, you can also hear just a little bit of ripping behind these paddings. So obviously that's a little concerning because the more you put your bow in and you take it out, this entire section might come loose over the long run. The Gewa Pure Case does have a Velcro strap here for shoulder rest. The Carbon Case has two Velcro straps near the top for shoulder rest, which is fine. It does have these additional kind of ribbons along the back of the case. I'm not quite sure what it's for. Maybe sliding in additional accessories or something. But another thing to note is that with the Gewa Pure Case, it does have a removable accessory pouch, which I really like, because you can have all your accessories on one place and you can take it all with you to your music stand. This case does not have a removable accessory pouch. With the Gewa Pure Case, the neck cushion here is actually movable. It's just attached by Velcro. And so this case is actually adjustable for full-size and 3/4 violins, or if you have a violin with more unique dimensions, such as a 7/8 violin, this is definitely a good option. And one really important thing to note is that with this Carbon Case, it's actually too wide. When you put a violin inside, there's way too much wiggle room. The violin's just kind of sliding left and right, which is a huge problem. With the Gewa Pure Case, it's actually very snug. And again, like this neck portion is movable, so you can adjust it really to your specific violin just to make sure that fit is as snug as possible. Now let's talk about the most crucial aspect of a violin case, which obviously is protection. You definitely want to get a case that is protected. With the Gewa Pure Case, polycarbonate is exceptionally strong. So as I'm pushing on this case with a lot of force, just with my hands, it doesn't move. It doesn't budge or anything. The shell is really hard, which is a good thing. With the carbon fiberglass case, however, if I just push on this case with my hands, it actually goes in, which is definitely not a good sign, because if someone just accidentally sat on this case, they could sit on the bridge could crack, or worse, it could go straight into your violin, damaging the wooden body of the violin. So that's definitely not a good sign. So to sum it all up, the Gewa Pure Case is obviously a lot more protective, and it's a lot more durable too. You can just tell with the latches, the metal rings, compared to this case, which actually use more cheap plastic. And you can just tell by like the padding and everything that's already coming loose. Just by pulling on it, you can hear the glue kind of ripping apart. So I'd be very surprised if this case is still intact within 1 year. Also, the Pure case is just a lot more temperature resistant compared to this case. And one very important thing to note is that with the Gewa Pure case, you actually see the brand name on the case itself. With this case, there's actually no name on the case. Now, in the manufacturing process of these cases, putting a name on, is probably the cheapest part of, making this case. So there's a reason, the manufacturers chose not to put a name on this case. It's very, unlikely that you'll be recommending the case. They don't want a name that'll be tarnished. So it's just easier not to put a name at all. So just something to keep in mind. So when looking for a case, again, you do want a protective, durable, temperature resistant, and lightweight case. Both cases, weigh about 5.3 pounds. This one's about 5.5. But again, you're getting just a lot more protection with this case. So be sure to check out the Gewa Pure Violin Cases at greatviolincases.com.